So let's talk about some of the changes that have happened in the Google AdWords algorithm and in the way that SEO strategies have shifted over the years that you need to be aware of. Like I said earlier, there are a lot of things that worked in the past that people put into place that are actually totally contrary to what Google is telling you to do today. And more than that, they're actually bringing your website and rankings down. The first issue is you really can't get away with duplicate content anymore. When we look at the SEO strategies for remodeling companies, contractors, and really all home improvement service related companies, you want to make sure you have pages for all of your services, as well as pages for the cities that you serve, typically like 10 city pages and 15 or 20 service pages to match all of those cities. In order to do that, what we found was that most people kind of just grabbed content that they found out on the internet about bathroom remodeling or roofing repairs, basically content that is not your own content, and then they just put it on your website and just add in their city. Another method related to your city pages is where you create one good city page. Let's say you have a Denver page, but then you also want to rank in the surrounding suburbs of Denver. So you created an Aurora page, a Broomfield page, a Highlands Ranch page, a Centennial page, and so on. So basically, you're just duplicating one page over and over, adding in different title and meta tags for that particular city, but yet the entire page of content is still the same. And so for a long time, that was a good play, and that worked really well in Google's young algorithm. But you really can't get away with that anymore. Now, that is highly frowned upon by Google. And as a matter of fact, we have seen companies that are struggling with their search results, and that's a big reason why. So these companies are investing big in SEO. They've invested time and effort into having these pages created, and they've invested in authority development for these pages via backlinks. And a lot of times, it's the duplicate content that's bringing down their ability to rank. And so what really needs to be done in that case is just to go back and delete the pages that are unnecessary. A lot of times, SEO companies get so granular with their keyword targeting, they want to put hundreds of pages on a website that never really get indexed by Google, and that never really even serves a purpose. And so the first thing to do is weed out the pages, and then the second phase is if it's a relevant keyword that you're targeting, you need to make sure that content is unique. You really want to have professional content writers handling this for you so that you're getting well-written and unique content for all of your services. You're getting unique content for all the cities that you service, and now you're kind of back in the game with Google. So what I want to encourage you to do is to look at your website, look at the pages that you have on your website, and identify if you're using the same content across the site, and if so, that's something that you need to address right away. The second big thing that has changed is that a lot of folks that have bad links pointed back to their website that could really be hurting you in Google's eyes. There was a time when it was just about the links and how many you had. The well-known mantra for SEO going back to even the early 2000s, and this lasted for several years, but the mantra was, he who has the most backlinks wins. So you can literally get links from anywhere, links from international sites, links from what we call PBN networks, which are private blog networks, links from all these irrelevant websites back to your website, back to your home page, back to your city pages, and back to your service pages. That used to work back in the day, but as Google started to clean things up and they started to really prevent people from trying to game the system, they started looking at those irrelevant links as a negative influence and a negative ranking factor. So what you need to do here is to look at your link profile. There are many great tools out there like Ahrefs and Majestic SEO. And in these online tools, you can put in your website URL and it will spit out a list of all the links that you have. And if you do have a lot of links, and especially if you are ranking well, If you've got links that are from websites that have nothing to do with your local area, and nothing really but garbage sites with worthless content, what you find is that it was just a blog with content that was made specifically just to link back to your site. Well, this is always going to be problematic for your ability to rank. The somewhat easy solution is to contact the webmaster of those various sites and have the links removed. Google Webmaster Tools also has an entire process for getting your links disavowed. But I don't want to go too technical on everyone, but it's something that you should know, or at least have someone that's paying attention to this on your behalf. Trust me, I've seen this with big brands and big companies that have great, well-known brands, a lot of authority and credibility in their markets, but yet they couldn't rank for their target keywords and couldn't figure out why. This is something that everyone needs to be aware of, especially if you've worked with various marketing companies over the years with dubious SEO skills. And the third big change is related to Google Maps optimization, and that is you really need to have a true physical address for your remodeling or home service related business. Back in the day, you could just set up a P.O. box at a UPS store and claim that as an address, so you could get in Google Maps in that city near you. But those days are kind of behind us now. Google has really gotten wise to those tricks. Google wants their 3-pack maps results to serve real businesses that have real locations, that have real reviews, and that a customer could potentially visit. A real office location, in other words. And so you really need to be thinking about whether you are a true company with a true physical address in the city that you are trying to target. Because if you are not, you are really just throwing bad money at your SEO, because this sort of tactic is not going to pass muster with Google. So if you have a current SEO provider that's telling you, oh, you don't have to have a real office, you kind of just work from your cell phone, covering a 100-mile radius or whatever, hey, that's cool, don't worry, we'll just create a P.O. box for you, and we'll claim the address and get you ranked. And what you find is that you're never ranking. And in fact, you won't, because this marketing company is deceiving you and giving you bad info. Maybe they're willing to take a chance that they can make this happen for you. But if you don't have a real address in the city that you are trying to rank for, right now, it's very difficult, if not impossible, to rank in the Google Maps section for that city. There are enough legitimate remodeling companies, builders, and general contractors, roofers, and all kinds of home service companies in every city across America that have a real address, that have a commercial facility that somebody could visit, that are competing to rank on the maps just like you. And there's only 3 listings on that first page of Google Maps. So if you don't have a real address in a real office, it's really just not going to happen for you. So at that point, you have to decide that you're not going to be able to play the maps game in those cities and just accept that you're going to have to rank organically. And believe me, you will get phone calls from your organic rankings. We've seen many campaigns where a keyword is not ranking in maps, but it is ranking in organic. And we've been able to track calls to those specific keywords. So trust me, folks, people still click on organic results, and they still want to click through to your website to learn more about your company. So these are the 3 big changes that you need to be aware of that are probably preventing you from ranking organically that you may or may not realize. So hopefully I've been able to shed some light on things that you really need to pay close attention to. So I've kind of talked about these changes in a broad sense, but I want to go a little deeper in talking about each of these factors that affect your search rankings. Again, it has to be unique content. Don't duplicate content on your site. Either delete the pages or rewrite unique content for the pages that you already have. The other thing I saw a lot of people doing that I hadn't talked about yet from this duplicate content perspective is that people are setting up little microsites let's say you're Frank's Remodeling. So you have the URL franksremodeling.com and you optimize around the Denver area. A lot of other SEO folks will tell you to set up more microsites like frankskitchenremodeling.com and franksbathremodeling.com and franksrenovations.com. And they make all these little microsites for you that they thought were going to rank because of a keyword-rich domain, and they had some content added in with good keyword focus. Two things that you should be aware of. When you do that, you're actually diluting the authority of your main site, franksremodeling.com, and in most cases, the guys that build these microsites are trying to really come up with shortcuts, so they inevitably end up duplicating your content from microsite to microsite. In some cases, as we scan our new client site, when they come to us from another marketing company, we'll find that they have a good website, good authority, good backlink profile, etc. But as we search the internet and find that there are all these microsites that they have, and they all typically have duplicate content. So you want to look for that, because sometimes deleting those websites is really the best way to go, or at least totally rewriting the content can really fix that problem. So just some things to really pay close attention to as it relates to the duplicate content issue. So let's talk about having irrelevant, low-quality links pointed back to your website. That was the Penguin algorithm. Remember, it used to be all about links, quantity over quality. What I want you to consider doing, and this is something that our team can do for you, is we'll run a backlink analysis. And with that analysis, we can see your domain, and you can see all the links that have pointed back to your website over the years that have been built for you. Some of the things that we look for are irrelevant links that are kind of obvious that they have nothing to do with the services that you provide. We want to be looking at the quality of those links, the quality of those websites, because if it's just a garbage link, it's not helping your website build any authority, and in fact, it could actually be harming your website and harming your ability to rank. But then you also want to look at the anchor text used in those backlinks, because a lot of times what SEO companies do is they use the same anchor text across all the links that they've built for you. And even if they were good quality links from quality sources, if all of your anchor text is almost identical, then that's actually a huge negative ranking factor. So what we do is we do a deep dive into your backlink profile and help you identify if there's a link problem. Is it a duplicate content problem? Is it an anchor text distribution problem? Even if you're doing this on your own, again, there are great tools like Ahrefs and Majestic SEO that can help you with this. Okay, so not to beat a dead horse on this physical address thing, but the bottom line is that you need a physical address, and it needs to be in the city that you want to rank for. Even if you're right outside the city that you want to rank for, or even if you have all your city pages optimized in the maps listing and all your citations in place, unless there's a very limited competition for that other city, there's really not a whole lot that you can do to rank in the maps for that city. The whole idea of Google Maps is to rank brick and mortar businesses in the cities that they're located in, period. It's hard enough to rank where you have a location in the city that you operate in, let alone outside your city's location. But again, you can always make the choice to get a physical office in the city that you want to rank for, set up the office, set up staffing, be able to greet your customers when they come visit you, and basically realize that this is a long-term investment for your company. But also know that it's going to take time to build the authority, to build the citations, to build the SEO foundation in order to rank in that main city. Let me know if anyone has any questions on these three major changes that have really impacted the Google algorithm and search results positioning. I'm trying to focus on the 80%, 20% principle here. the 20% of things I'm seeing that have 80% of the impact on rankings. These three are the key issues to be aware of, and we can help solve those three for you. And if you do, you're going to resolve 80% of the issues presenting you from ranking well. What else has changed in the world of SEO? Old-fashioned SEO as we know it is no longer effective. The things that used to be important, like getting your focus keyword in the title, getting your keywords in the H tags, getting your keywords 7 or 8 times into the page content, getting a bunch of backlinks, buying PBNs, and linking back to your website. That stuff is no longer effective in the post-Panda, Pigeon, and Penguin world of Google algorithm updates. Now, it's really about user experience and optimization for conversions. The new SEO approach definitely requires a heavy focus on the user experience, or UX as it's known. Nowadays, Google is not only looking at what websites are optimized and what their backlink profiles are, but their algorithm is also looking at what the consumer is doing once they click on that keyword and go to a website. And believe me, they are tracking millions of keywords and tens of millions of clicks on a daily basis. They are really paying attention to, for instance, when someone types in Denver roofer, and when they click through to your website, are they staying on your website or bouncing right back into the search results as if your website didn't deliver what they were looking for? Are they spending more time on your website? And are they scrolling down? Are they getting a great user experience? And believe it or not, Google's search engine is that sophisticated. So make sure you are putting a heavy focus on thinking about that user experience.